I never thought I'd end up holding a loaded Glock to my old boss's temple while he begged for his life in a voice that cracked like cheap whiskey on the rocks. 15 years after he canned me for having lung cancer, calling it a liability, in front of the entire boardroom, I'd become the ghost he never saw coming. The one who'd clawed his way back from the grave of his own making. And as his eyes widened in recognition, I whispered the truth he'd buried deeper than my tumor. You didn't just fire me, Harlan. You stole my skin. It started on a muggy Tuesday in 2010, the kind of day in Chicago where the humidity clings to your collar like a bad conscience. I was Emery Kane, 42, mid-level exec at Harlan Voss Industries, pushing spreadsheets for a conglomerate that made its bones in big pharma knockoffs and shady biotech ventures. I'd been with the company 12 years, loyal as a Labrador, climbing from junior analyst to VP of operations by sheer grit and 80-hour weeks. My wife, Lena, joked I was married to the job more than her. But hell, it paid for the brownstone in Lincoln Park and our kids' private school tuition. That morning, I felt the cough before the diagnosis, a wet, rattling hack that tasted like rust. I'd been lighting up Marlboro since college. Stress relief in a cutthroat world where deals were sealed over scotch and backroom handshakes. By noon, I'd hacked up enough blood to skip the board meeting and hit the ER. The doc, a harried Pakistani guy with kind eyes, slid the CT scanned across the Formica table like it was yesterday's takeout menu. Lung cancer, Mr.
Kane.
Stage 3. We'll need to biopsy, but it's aggressive. You smoke. I nodded, numb, the room spinning like I'd chugged a fifth. Lena met me there, her face crumpling as she gripped my hand. We'll fight it.
Eminência.
Together. But even then, I knew the real fight wasn't the chemo, it was Harlan Voss. Harlan was the kingpin, silver-haired fox in his late 50s, with a jawline like a Roman emperor and a Rolodex full of senators. He'd built HVI from a garage startup into a billion-dollar beast, peddling everything from antidepressants to experimental gene therapies that skirted FDA regs like a drunk driver weaving through traffic. He was the guy who preached family first at company picnics while outsourcing jobs to Shenzhen sweatshops. Charming bastard, but ruthless. Rumors swirled about execs who crossed him ending up in rubber rooms or worse, floating in Lake Michigan with concrete sneakers. I called in sick that afternoon, but by evening, HR had my termination letter drafted. Harlan summoned me to his corner office the next day, the one with floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the Loop, where the city looked like his personal chessboard. I shuffled in, still queasy from the painkillers, Lena's scarf around my neck to hide the hospital bracelet. Emery, he said, not looking up from his desk, voice smooth as oiled leather. Sit. I did, the leather chair creaking under me. He finally met my eyes, that piercing blue stare that could make interns piss themselves. Heard about the issue. Cancer, right? Tough break.
Yeah.
Docs say it's treatable if we catch it now. He leaned back, steepling his fingers. See, that's the problem. HVI's in growth mode. Investors are jittery after the '08 crash. We can't afford distractions, lawsuits, accommodations, all that ADA bullshit. You're a liability now, son. My gut twisted harder than the tumor. Harlan, I've given you everything. 12 years. I built the ops team from scratch. And you'll get a severance package that'll keep you comfortable through treatment. Hell, we'll even cover the Cobra. He slid the papers across. Already signed. Sign here. Clean break. I didn't sign. Not right away. This is it? After everything? His smile didn't reach his eyes. Business. Emery. Nothing personal. But it was personal. That afternoon, the boardroom erupted, Harlan announcing my resignation due to health reasons, while execs murmured sympathies like they were reciting a script. Whispers followed. Kane's out. Cancer's a death sentence anyway. Lena and I drove home in silence, the skyline blurring through tears. I started chemo the next week, the kind that turns your veins to fire and your hair to confetti. Bills piled up despite the severance. Insurance fought every claim. Lena worked double shifts at her nursing gig, our marriage fraying like old rope. Months blurred into a haze of nausea and regret. The cancer shrank, but so did I, down 20 pounds, gaunt as a Depression-era photo. Harlan's face haunted my dreams. That smug dismissal. I sued for wrongful termination, but his lawyers, shark tanks from K Street, buried me in motions. Case dismissed. Precedent favors at-will employment, the judge drawled, banging his gavel like a coffin nail. By 2012, I was in remission, but the job market for a cancer survivor in his mid-40s? A joke. I bounced between consulting gigs, scraping by on ramen and resentment. Lena stuck it out 2 years, then filed for divorce. I love you,
Ink.
but this bitterness, it's killing you slower than the smokes. Our daughter, Riley, now 10, chose her mom in the custody split. I saw her weekends, teaching her chess in dingy diners, watching her eyes glaze when I ranted about Harlan. Life bottomed out in a one-bedroom in Pilsen, surrounded by graffiti-tagged walls and the wail of L trains. I quit therapy after 6 sessions. Get over it, Mr. Kane. Not everyone's a victim. But I wasn't over it. The betrayal festered, a shadow tumor no scan could catch. Harlan?
He thrived.
HVI stock soared on some breakthrough in neural implants, rumors of black-budget deals with DARPA. He bought a yacht, married his 3rd trophy wife, splashed across Forbes as the biotech baron. Then, in 2015, the first crack appeared. A whistleblower doc leaked online, HVI's secret project. Eidolon and neural mapping tech for consciousness transfer. Sci-fi bullshit.
Right?
Brain uploads for the elite, swapping minds like outfits. The leak claimed test subjects, homeless vets, undocumented migrants, wound-up vegetative, their psyches erased. Feds investigated, but Harlan's lobbyists smothered it. Fringe conspiracy, the Times called it. I laughed it off at first, nursing a PBR in a dive bar. But late nights, scrolling dark web forums, patterns emerged. Eidolon wasn't upload, it was swap. Wetware hacks, DARPA funded, for the ultra-rich to cheat death. Jump your rotting brain into a fresh body. Leave the host a husk. And Harlan, his annual physicals, sealed tighter than Fort Knox. Whispers said he'd been fighting pancreatic cancer since '09, terminal. The kind that laughs at chemo. My hands shook as I connected dots. What if?
No.
Too insane. But insomnia's a hell of a detective. I hacked public records, nothing fancy, just persistent Googling. Found gaps. My resignation timed perfectly with Harlan's unexplained sabbatical. Medical proxies, shell core shuffling assets, and a clinic in Basel, Switzerland, Eidolon Partners, where Harlan vanished for 3 weeks post-firing. Riley's 16th birthday, 2021. I sat alone in that pills and dump, cake uneaten, staring at her Facebook pics. She looked like Lena, thriving in college. No clue about the dad she'd outgrown. Rage boiled over. I Googled private investigator Chicago, hired one on credit, ex-cop named Ruiz. Grizzled and greedy. Track Voss, I told him. Everything offshore accounts. Travel. Health leaks. Ruiz delivered a dossier thicker than a phone book. Harlan's cancer. Confirmed. Stage 4. 09 diagnosis. But post 2010? Clean bills. Suspiciously robust. Travelogues. Basel. Repeated. And buried in Swiss corp filings a transfer. EK. Asset acquisition. My initials. My blood type matched Harlan's in the leak. O negative. Rare as hen's teeth. It hit like a freight train.
Idolin.
They'd swapped us. Harlan's mind and my body healthy, vigorous Emery Kane, and mine dumped into his failing shell. The cancer-riddled husk fired to cover tracks. That resignation meeting?
Me.
In Harlan's body, 2 days from the procedure to fight. The cough. The blood, it was his disease. Not mine. They'd pinned it on me to justify the acts. Let Emery, Harlan puppeteering my flesh, rise unencumbered. I retched into the sink, staring at the mirror, Harlan's face, lined and jowly, eyes mine, haunted, furious. How long had I been? This? The swap severed memories at the seam. I woke in recovery thinking I was me. But the body betrayed. 15 years lost. Life gutted. All for his immortality play. Ruiz called back. Kane? You sitting? Idolin docs, redacted. But signatures match. Voss authorized the swap. You were volunteered via NDA you don't remember signing. Volunteered. Like a lab rat. Betrayal didn't cut it. This was vivisection. Harlan, in my skin, had lived my life better, promoted to CEO by 12. Schmoozed senators. Bedded interns. He had Riley's graduations. Lena's rare smiles. My daughter called him Uncle Harlan at company events. Clueless. I didn't go to cops. Feds, they'd bury it deeper. National security veil over DARPA toys.
No.
This was personal. Old school American justice, eye for an eye, with a twist of controversy. I started small, anonymous leaks to journos. HVI stock dipping on Idolin rumors. Harlan and me lashed out, suing bloggers for defamation. But cracks spread. By 2023, I was a shadow operative. Dyed my hair, his hair gray fox now. Bulked up on steroids to mask the frailty. Learned wet work from dark web tutorials and Ruiz's contacts. Glock 19. Untraceable. $800 in a South Side alley. I infiltrated HVI as a janitor. Ironic. Mopping floors in the empire I'd built. Tensions coiled like a spring. Board meetings. Harlan and Emery barking orders. My voice but his cadence clipped. Arrogant. I'd linger in vents. Listening to his boasts. Kane was dead weight anyway. Good riddance.
Lies.
He'd hidden his crimes. Idolin killed dozens. Covered as overdoses. And the secret. My original body? Enhanced. Neural boosters making Emery sharper. Richer. He'd borne no mistake. I'd shouldered his sins. Fired as the fall guy. Climax brewed at the annual gala. 2025. Magnificent Mile ballroom glittering like fool's gold. I slipped in as catering staff. Bow tie choking like a noose. Harlan held court. arm around a blonde half his age, toasting innovation that defies death. Riley was there, 21 now, interning at HVI, her laugh echoing my own lost youth. I cornered him in the service elevator, gun cold against my temple. Remember Basel? Harlan? The machine that buzzed like Judgment Day. His eyes, my eyes, flared with recognition. Emery? Jesus. No. Shut up. The elevator hummed downward. City lights streaking like accusations. You stole my life. My wife. My kid. Pinned your cancer on me. Fired the husk to tie loose ends. He laughed. Manic. It was mercy. You were going nowhere, a mid-wit smoker grinding gears. I gave your body purpose. Look at Emery Kane now, board chair. Net worth 9 figures. Mercy? I pressed harder. Controversial calculus firing. Shoot him. And Riley loses her dad. Or expose. Drag her through scandal? Decisions like this, trading blood for truth, that's the American rot, where power perverts justice. The doors dinged open to the alley. Rain slicking the pavement. Sirens wailed distant. My leak to press timed perfectly. Twist time. Harlan. Eidolon logs? I have them. Your swaps, senators. CEOs. All puppeteered corpses. But the real kicker, you didn't swap with me. You swapped with a clone. My original body's in a cryovault. Brain dead. This, I tapped his chest, my stolen flesh, is a facsimile, neural echo. You're the mistake. Glitching code in borrowed meat. His face crumpled. The lie inverted. I'd fabricated the clone angle, bluffed to shatter him, but Ruiz's digs confirmed partial truth. Eidolon imperfect. Psyche's fracturing over time. Harlan's arrogance cracked. He babbled confessions. Phone recording every word. Cops swarmed as I vanished into shadows. Gun ditched in the Chicago River. Ending? Not tidy. Harlan and Emery faced trials, murder, fraud. The works sentenced to life in Supermax. His empire crumbling. Riley? She hated me at first. The imposter uncle unraveling her world. But letters, therapy, time, she visited, saw the man behind the mask. Dad, she whispered once. Hand on glass. Close enough.
Me?
Remission held, but the swap scars lingered, phantom itches in my limbs. I cashed whistleblower bounties. Bought a cabin in the woods whispering absolution. Happy? Tragic? You debate it. I got revenge. But at what cost? A daughter's fractured trust. A nation's underbelly exposed? Harlan rots. But the machine hums on. Elites swapping souls in boardrooms. And in quiet moments, coughing up ghosts, I wonder, whose life did I really steal back? The rain hadn't let up since the gala, turning Chicago into a watercolor smear of neon and regret. I holed up in a no-tell motel off Cicero, the kind with hourly rates and stains that told stories you didn't want to hear. Room 207 smelled like mildew and yesterday's regrets. The bed sagging under my weight, Harlan's weight. Still alien after 15 years of uneasy truce. I'd ditched the catering tux for a hoodie and jeans from a thrift bin. Cash only. No cameras. Ruiz texted burner to burner. Feds circling HVI like vultures. Your tape's gold. Anonymous drop to Cian. Voss crumbling. Good. Let the bastard squirm. But sleep evaded me. Mind replaying the elevator standoff. Harlan's denial fracturing into pleas. It wasn't personal. Emery. Survival. Pure Darwin. Darwin my ass. It was Cain and Abel with a side of corporate greed. I'd always known betrayal's sting. Hell, my old man ditched us for a Vegas showgirl when I was 8. But this? Body snatching a subordinate to dodge the Reaper? That was next-level profane. The kind of sin that makes God avert his eyes. Dawn broke gray, and I hit the road north. I-94 cutting through industrial sprawl toward Milwaukee. Needed distance. A clean slate to plot next moves. The Acura rental, stolen plates courtesy Ruiz, 8 miles while NPR droned indictments. Harlan Voss. Facing charges in a multi-billion biotech scandal. My face.
His now.
Grinned in the rearview. Controversial? Dropping that gunpowder on a Friday night. Knowing it'd torch Riley's internship dreams?
Yeah.
I owned that moral quagmire. But burying it would have made me complicit. Another cog in the machine that chewed souls for stock ticks. Milwaukee welcomed me with lake effect chill. The sort that seeps into bones like doubt. I crashed at a cousin's, distant branch. Hadn't seen since Lena's funeral in 18, heart attack. Stress from the divorce I'd sparked.
Cousin Marty.
Ex-Marine turned bouncer. Didn't ask questions. You look like shit warmed over.
Eminencia.
Or whoever. Beer and silence. Then, need a line on clean docks? Got a guy. By noon, I was Elliot Grant, SSN forged slick as silk. Backstory: a trucker widower from Duluth. Marty hooked me with a gig at a harborside warehouse, loading crates of who knows what for minimum wage. Calluses rebuilding on hands that once signed million-dollar deals. Labor soothed the rage. Each pallet a small defiance. Nights,
Though.
the darkness clawed back. Dreams of the swap. Sterile Basel chamber. Electrodes humming like angry bees. Harlan's technicians murmuring in clipped German. Subject: EK viable. Neural sync at 92%. Waking sweat-soaked. I'd trace the scar at my nape. Faint port for the Eidolon rig. Ruiz's updates trickled. Harlan lawyered up. But the tape leaked wider. Dark pool forums buzzing. Eidolon swap trending on X. Protests outside HVI towers. Pitchfork digital and real. Immortality for the 1%. Fuck that. Riley's voice in a viral clip. My mentor. My dad. How could he? Knife twist. I'd mailed her a letter pre-gala. And signed. Truth hurts.
Kiddo.
But lies kill slower. The man you know stole from us both. Love. The ghost. Cryptic. Sure. But seeds planted. 2 months in. The first Counter-Strike hit. Black SUV tailed me from the warehouse. Milwaukee PD plates, but private muscle vibe. Eidolon remnants, Harlan's cleanup crew. Off-books contractors with NDAs and AR-15s. They cornered me in a brewpub lot. 3 goons in tactical vests. The leader a slab of meat with a buzz cut and Harlan's deadfish stare. Mr. Voss sends regards. Loose ends get tied. I bolted. Feet pounding pavement. Lungs burning, not cancer. But 15 years of atrophy. Ducked into alleys. Heart jackhammering. Controversial call. Fight or flight. I chose neither. Flashed Ruiz's .38. Squeezed off warning shots into the air. Tell Harlan the husk fights back. They peeled out. But message sent. No more hiding. Time to escalate. Back at Marty's, I pieced the deeper secret. Ruiz unearthed Swiss clinic logs. Eidolon wasn't just swaps, it weaponized them. Harlan's real crime? Test runs on innocence, me first. Recruited via spiked scotch at a '09 retreat. I'd blacked out. Woke fired. But the mistake I bore? A whistleblower murder pinned on Emery Kane, some engineer who'd threatened to expose early fatalities. Harlan, in my body. Staged it. My prints on the garrote. Alibi airtight. Cops closed it quick. Suicide by cop. I'd carried that shadow rap for years. Doors slammed on jobs. Friends ghosting. Fury refined to diamond. I went dark web shopping. Encrypted drives. Burner laptops. A drone rig for surveillance. Traveled under Grant, hitting Detroit next. Motor City's underbelly a hotbed for black market biotech. Found Lena's old colleague.
Dr.
Singh. Now running a rogue clinic in a cast corridor basement. Eidolon reversal? I asked. Sliding cash. He eyed the scar. Possible. Neural remap. But risky, psyche bleed. Identity fracture. You sure? Hell no. But I nodded. Controversial as hell. Risk madness to reclaim self? American dream twisted. Pull yourself up, even if it means rewiring your soul. Procedure set for a week out. $50,000 wired anonymous.
Meanwhile,
I leaked more. Victim manifests. Harlan's emails gloating. Kane's body runs like a thoroughbred, worth every franc. Trials ramped. Harlan testified. My face pale under lights. Spinning yarns of rogue elements. Jurors ate it until my drone feed hit live streams. Him in a panic room, ranting to mirrors. Emery's haunting me, fucking parasite. Viral gold. Stocks tanked 40%. Board ousting CEO Kane pending appeals. Riley dropped out of HVI orbit. Her Insta gone private. Posts cryptic. Family's a lie we tell ourselves. Detroit op came fast. Basement reeked of ozone and regret. Singh's machine. Jury-rigged Eidolon knockoff. Cables snaking like veins. Strap in. This'll hurt. Electrodes bit. Screens flickered scans. Pain lanced. Memories flooding. Original me.
pre-swap.
Laughing with Lena over ribs at a Wrigleyville joint. Harlan's ingress. Oily. Big opportunity sign here. Blackness. Then awakening in his shell. The cough is curse. Sync hit 70%. Glitchy. Voices overlapping. His thoughts bled. Guilt over the engineer. Love for a daughter not his. Terror of the void. I screamed. Thrashing. Singh jabbing syringes. Stabilize. He's inverting. Lights out. Woke in recovery. Body mine, but mind a mosaic. Scar throbbed. But clarity sharpened. Harlan's cunning mind now. Toolkit for the endgame. Flew to DC under alias. Ruiz greasing wheels. Capitol Hill briefing. Anonymous source. Senators who'd swapped. Their donors walking dead. Scandal erupted impeachments. Hearings televised like gladiator pits. Harlan's fortress cracked. I breached it solo. Gulfstream to Aspen, his retreat, a modernist bunker carved into mountains. Snow fell soft, muffling chopper blades. Infiltration. Service entrance. Maid's uniform absurd on this frame. Halls echoed empty. His third wife fled post-arrest. Found him in the library. Scotch in hand. My old body gaunt from stress. Pacing before a fire that mocked warmth. You, he snarled.
Spotting me. The reject.
Come to gloat. I leveled the Glock, same one from the gala.
Poetic.
Not gloat. Reckon. That engineer? His blood's on me because of you. The swaps. The dead. Your sins. My sentence. He lunged.
Desperate. But I sidestepped.
Controversial mercy flickering. End him quick. Or drag it. Twist. Harlan. Reversal worked partial. I have your memories. You weren't dying of cancer. It was engineered, Eidolon side effect. To force the jump. You made yourself the monster to escape it. Lie? Truth inverted again. Singh's notes hinted feedback loops. Psyche's self-sabotaging. But it broke him.
No.
I was saving us. Elites lead. Masses follow. Immortality trickles down. Bullshit sacrament. I chambered around. Trickle-down death. Riley's call interrupted. Burner ring. Her voice small. Uncle. Dad? It's on the news. The swap, it's real?
Pause. Sobs.
Come home. Please. Finger trembled. End it. Orphan her twice? Or justice? Let courts carve him? American dilemma. Vigilante heart versus rulebook chains. I lowered the gun. We'll talk.
Kid.
Real soon. Sirens wailed. My tip to feds.
Timed.
Harlan cuffed, howling as they dragged him to the chopper. Emery, we're the same now.
No.
Not anymore. Aspen faded in the rear view of a stolen Jeep. Snow chains rattling like loose teeth on the icy vein of Highway 70. Harlan's howls echoed in my skull, his memories clinging like burrs. Fragments of boardroom conquests and bedside vigils for a mistress's abortion. The reversal had grafted us. A Frankenstein merger. My grit laced with his guile. A hybrid monster staring back from every reflective puddle. Riley's call burned in my pocket. A lifeline or noose. Home meant what now? Lincoln Park brownstone sold off in my absence. Or the cabin I'd eyed in Michigan's wilds. A hermit's exile? D.C. beckoned first. The swamp's fetid glow drawing me like a moth to scandal's flame. I checked into a nondescript Marriott under Grant, lobby humming with Hill staffers nursing hangovers from the Eidolon hearings. CNN looped nonstop. Biotech baron unmasked, consciousness swaps and corporate cannibalism. Harlan's mug, my old face. Twisted in orange jumpsuit, splashed everywhere. Juxtaposed with victim photos, hollow-eyed families of the overdosed test subjects. Protests swelled outside the Capitol. Signs scrawling, souls aren't stocks. And Voss stole my dad. Ruiz met me in a dive off K Street. Scarred knuckles wrapped around a Boilermaker. You're viral.
Ghost.
Feds want you, hero or co-conspirator. Senators flipping like pancakes. Spilling on swaps with donors. One Veeps, twin, found catatonic in Aruba. I slid him a thumb drive. Harlan safe-cracked. Full of ledgers. Bribes to regulators. Eidolon patents filed under ghosts. Burn it wide. No bylines. He pocketed it. Eye me wary. This ends bloody.
Eminência.
You acclaimed. But what's left? Riley's ghosting therapists. Saying her life's a simulation. Gut punch. I'd birthed her in '01. Held her tiny fist during my all-nighters. Now, a stranger in dad's skin. Unraveling her reality. Controversial calculus again. Expose fully. Free the truth but shatter innocence? Or redact. Protect her from the abyss? American exceptionalism's dark flip. Liberty for some. Lies for the fragile. I drove to Riley's dorm, Northwestern. Lakeside Evanston. Co-eds biking through autumn crisp. Waited in shadows. Hoodie up. Heart thudding like a guilty man. She emerged. Backpack slung. Eyes red-rimmed, but fierce, lean as fire. Tailed her to a coffee shop. Starby's knockoff buzzing with poli-sci debates. slid into the booth opposite. Voice low. Riley. She froze. Latte midway.
Who?
Oh God. The news. You're. Him. The other Emery. Sort of. I pushed a napkin note. Clinic address for her own scan. Singh's offer. Not here to claim. Just explain. Words tumbled. The Scotch spike. Basel blur. Awakening to his cough and my erasure. Her face cycled shock to fury. You let him.
Be me?
Christmases. Graduations, he was you. But not. And Mom, did you know about the divorce? Harlan's memory flashed. His seduction of Lena.
Post-swap.
Whispering my affections twisted to conquest. He prayed. I'm sorry doesn't cut it. She bolted. Chair scraping. You're both monsters. Stay away. Door slammed. Bell jangling like judgment. Alone with cooling Joe. The weight crushed. Revenge's high crashed, climax passed. Dregs bitter. Feds closed and days later, anonymous tips traced the Jeep. Surrendered clean. No gun. Hands up in a rest stop off I-90. Agent Reyes, the lead, said, cuffing gentle. Whistleblower protection. Or accessory. Truth's my plea. Interrogation room sterile. Coffee sludge. Lawyers circling. I spilled. Swaps. Murders. The engineered cancer. Eidolon glitch Harlan hid. Forcing his jump to motivate the program. Twist inverted again. Docs proved it partial truth. His disease viral. Contagious via neural link. Dooming hosts like me to slow rot. Headline screamed, Voss's virus. Immortality's plague? Public devoured. Debates raging on Fox and MSNBC. Vigilante justice or terrorist? Pods dissected. Did Kane deserve the swap? Smoker self-sabotage. Controversial fodder. My firing reframed as first strike in a war on the soul trade. Riley visited once. Plexi between. Her major switched to bioethics. Therapy says forgive to heal.
But you?
I see doubt in your eyes, the real one. Hand to glass. Mirror of mine. Breakthrough. Fragile as frost. Trial wrapped 6 months. Harlan's empire auctioned. Proceeds to victims fund. Me trustee. He took the stand last. My body shriveled. Voice mine but broken. I built empires. You envy that. Emery, the power. Bailiff Gaveld. Life without parole. Supermax in Colorado. Swaps banned federally, but loopholes lingered. Elites whispered of offshore eidolons. The rich eternal.
Me?
Protection programs slotted me in Montana. Big sky anonymity. Cabin by Gallatin River. Fly fishing for trout that didn't judge. Remission held. But coughs lingered. Viral echo. Riley visited Summers. Grad school apps peppered with neural ethics theses. Your story. Dad, fuel for change. Happy ending? Debatable. I reclaimed a facsimile self. But scars mapped a hybrid man, Emery with Harlan shadows. Vengeful yet visionary. Betrayal's deep cut healed crooked. Secrets unearthed but not erased. Society argued. Hero who toppled titans. Or hubris that orphaned a girl. I flycast at dawn. Line arcing graceful. Pondering the twist. Whose truth won. The river rushes on. Indifferent. Carrying both our ghosts. Nights. Fire crackling. I pen letters to no one. Revenge isn't closure. It's the scar that itches eternal. Harlan rots. But in dreams, he grins. We're the same. Brother. Maybe. Or maybe that's the final controversy. the monster we become to slay one. Fade to black. America. Your move.